What's up, everyone? My camera seems to be struggling. Camera, don't do that. Oh, boo. Okay, well, I'm here. Uh, and I'm trying out a new stream format today. Terra Mystica forcing some fancy plays. So I have this non-arena game. We're playing base maps with landscapes. And we have a setup that seems like it could be relatively high scoring here. I need to throw something into the auction. Swarmlings picked by Babuk. Seems like a good Swarmlings game. No priest. No cult coins. No past ship VP. Engineers usually do pretty well against Swarmlings. And I'm seeing some really fun lines we could hit with engineers here, with Stronghold in round 3, Town in round 4. I think some big bridge strategies could work with engineers in this game. Let's try the webcam one more time. Hey, it's back. Okay, great. I'm glad that decided to work out. So, yeah, new format. Let's see how this goes. No matter what we end up taking in the auction, I'll be trying to find a fancy line for them and to enjoy the game in a way that's not typically played at expert levels. So we'll either try for a fun opening, a fun mid-game, a fun overall strategy, or some mix of that. We have Nomads in the third seat. Seems like a reasonably fine Nomads game. If Trading Posts were round 1, we could go for a triple Trading Post opening with Nomads, but that's not looking too likely as good enough here. Plenty of workers in this setup, in the pass tiles and the cult bonuses. One of the best ways to pull off a fancy game is to have a ton of cult bonuses and get a lot of value from those payouts. It's not the most fun for cult scoring. I've been trying to get other people to play Watered 2 Darklings recently, and nobody has. I can't exactly try to let that happen here. If Darklings do get picked for the 4 seat, we could try to do some like double econ Darklings stuff. And what I mean by that is completely ignore Earth 1 and go for 2 economic favors in round 1. I am actually hoping for Darklings to be the 4th pick here. I have a pretty strong idea of how to navigate that. Nomad Swarmlings have good synergy with each other. This has been covered plenty of times, but still true. Hello, Marushka. Doing pretty well today. How are you? Trying out a new type of stream today, so this could be great. It could completely flop. Oh yeah, that emote is beautiful, but we're not doing Agricola right now, so we'll get more into that tomorrow on the Agricola stream, I assume. Ooh, good idea, Relentless. We could have a Dwelling Rush. Spades in round 1 is good enough for a Darkling's Dwelling Rush, for sure. There's no Priest tile, though, which makes it a little... No, it doesn't. We just take the Spade tile. Zorus's Dwelling Rush was entirely land-based. It didn't use the temporary shipping. Oh, I was just saying, I'm going to be doing a new type of stream, so Reedstone Food not the most applicable for this Terra Mystica stream. We do have Darklings in the 4th seat, yes. Alright. I think the plans for Darklings and Engineers are relatively clear. No, unfortunately, Reedstone Food's not that good in Terra Mystica. It's really weird. I mean, you can try to use reed as workers and coins as and food as coins, but I don't think your opponents will let you. So might not work too well. All right, so we have a very typical color wheel here, the send color wheel, picked in that order too. All right, so Babuk leads off with a Swarmlings bid. I think it's somewhat reasonable. Swarmlings are just very solid in this setup with a lot of things in their favor here. But I think Darklings have a lot of good openings. If we end up on engineers, we might need to go hard on the stronghold lines. Max goes for nomads, having thrown them into the game himself. Nomads do hit these cults fairly well, and they're probably reasonable here. I just don't have a fancy play line with them, as far as I can tell. I mean, I could always open triple TP for the fun of it, but I don't think that really works here. Swarmlings definitely a reasonable next bid. I could have bid Swarmlings 29, but I think Darklings are probably worth the points here. It won't be too long before I hop on to Engineers. Darklings D-Rush into round 3 Sanctuary? Yeah, that's probably the plan. Hey, Ghostly! We've got Fancy Play Syndrome, a new Terra Mystica streaming format that I've been thinking about. Nobody's been listening to my somewhat trolly suggestions on the other streams, so I'm gonna throw some trolly suggestions to myself and try to implement them. I guess one of the goals with this series is going to be, or if it becomes a series, is going to be, let's try to do some really weird things, but also explain why they might actually work. And we can see throughout the game if they end up working or not, and analyze what could have been better, what was not so good, what can we do better next time, is this viable at all. My camera's been freezing here and there, but okay, we end up with Swarmlings. That's actually not ideal. Swarmlings are pretty solid. Scotty missed that it was the original map. Interesting. I don't exactly know how I'm going to pull off fancy play Swarmlings. Swarmlings are like very solid here, and I know how to play them well. I might have to call an audible and switch this off for a example game on Zorus' Ultimate Guide to Swarmlings. But we'll see if we can do something besides 7 structures here. It's a landscapes game. Scotty missed his original map, and Babuk missed that nomads were before NGs? Oh, just in the bidding. Okay. So let me turn on the index names and the income. Oh, and let me turn off these sounds. I'm sorry. So we see D3 and G4 from Nomads so far. Expecting F3 or E8. I think I just automatically G6 here. Come on, Jones. No, we can't have the board game arena sounds. We have this ambient music in the background. Hopefully that's good enough for you. My goal is not going to be to connect here. But we're just going to play D2, G6 Swarmlings. Split Swarmlings, never intending to connect. We're going to play big structures, big leech early on and see what we can pull off by the end of the game. Can we recommend some tutorial videos for Terra Mystica? Yeah. Tutorial videos, I'm actually not sure what the best source of those would be. Just drop it on your Discord. Whoops. Yeah, I'll try to find one after the game. Alright, so back to brainstorming some potential fancy options here. We probably need to figure out what pass tile we're starting on. We're not going to be starting with the spade. We're probably not starting with worker power, and we're probably not starting with 2 workers unless engineers or nomads take temporary shipping. We don't have a need for temporary shipping right now. We probably just take the 6 coins, unfortunately. Thanks, Anup. Appreciate it. Fancy place swarmlings would be connecting. Yeah, that would be. That would be fancy place swarmlings. We are going to try to hit the round 4 towns for sure. I don't see a winning line for swarmlings right now beyond just the classic water 1, water 2. Yeah. Sorry, my webcam is like not good later in the day, and I don't know why. I could have just restarted my computer first, but it's fine. Alright. I was hoping by bidding Swarmlings I'd be just pushing someone else to a fairer price. I did really want Engineers or Darklings here, but I'm not going to overpay for it. We'll see if Engineers takes 2 workers or coins or temp ship. They take 2 workers. Extremely reasonable. Extremely reasonable. So the last option, or the next option for me is temp ship or 6 coins. Temp ship gives me an edge on double dig action, which I really want in round 1. But I think I'm just gonna take the coins. The coins really help with the sanctuary building later. And we're just gonna try to pick up a ton of leech very early. We're gonna put a double dig on F7 if we can. And it's looking very likely that we can. No reason Darklings shouldn't upgrade here. And if they don't, they'll upgrade there, right? I guess Darklings could take 2 workers, but I don't think that's super likely. Oh, they spade. Okay. This means we don't get double dig. Fun times. What fancy stuff can we do if we're not getting double dig? To make up for it, I kind of want to get really aggressive on the cults. So maybe taking a priest here and trying for a massively cult-dominant game might be the play. Not that we weren't planning on that already. I could take Earth 2 or Fire 1. Yeah, I think that's probably the best way to integrate some fancy stuff here, is try to take Earth 2 this round. Earth 2 sounds really great. 2 coins this round, worker income, and helps with extra spades in round 4. Temple Swarmlings is not fancy. That's just called bad. So the real decision here is whether we upgrade right now. We're not getting double dig. If we get blocked on single dig, that's also okay. It's not great. I think I take the priest here. See how committed Babuk is to throwing the priest to Earth. Probably quite committed, but it is also a spade for 2 points this round. So maybe Babuk is going to protect H7. It's probably better for Babuk if he digs H7. The whole point of building f5 first is to try to get both f5 and h7 for himself, right? Oops, sorry, Ghostly. What's your link here? Yo, KLJ, what's up? Yep, we got Marushka's Reedstone food emote. Unfortunately, those resources aren't worth anything in Terra Mystica. Oh, you tried to post Terra Mystica in 3 minutes. Okay, yeah. Let's see. I don't know how to... Yeah, maybe if you can whisper it to him, that's probably better. Sorry, I don't want to let Nightbot allow all the YouTube links. That doesn't sound like a good idea. Max is giving a nice long think to whether he wants to take Double Dig here. And if so, which hexes, I think, is also an important question. Probably wants to secure E9 as one of the spots. Yep, okay. This is all pretty standard. Engineers getting a bit more leech than they might otherwise get in this matchup, in part thanks to me being on G6 and Nomads on G4, forcing Darklings up to F5. Jones also doesn't sound like not a great idea. Au contraire. Forgive my terrible French. But yeah, I don't think so. And thanks, Ghostly. Appreciate that. So we're down to 1 spade action available to the table here. If I get it, it'll be a lot later and I'll put it on D1. Just not expecting myself to get it here. Indeed, Nomads immediately grab G2. I think that's reasonable. And now we'll see if Darklings take H7 or send a Priest to Earth. It's not very likely that I'm going to dig away H7 anytime soon. So Babuk does send the Priest to Earth. We're going to accept all the leech we can early on. Alright, so engineers have already been put in a pretty good position. By me being on G6, it's kind of similar to Double East Darklings in a traditional send. So we really don't want to let engineers get too much happy times this game. George, no, we talked about this. We talked about this, buddy. Temple for Earth 3. How fancy do you want me to be? This is the creativity stream, yes. And we are going to upgrade here. Babuk has sequenced his round very well, I have to say. His sequencing has taken advantage of most of my decisions here. What was the reason for starting G6? I just find it to be a very efficient spot. D5 not very good. H4 more effective when brown is also in the game. That's my opinion. Swears the Sanctuary opening for Swarmling is OP and you have your doubts. Well, I don't think Babuk is going to let me have the Workers action here. It's like 1,000,000% that Babuk takes the Workers action if available to him, and it is. But if I got the Workers action, I would have enough stuff to do it. So Earth 2 is fancy, and it's not bad at all. What else is happening this round? Engineers are building a trading post. and nothing else. So I could send this priest somewhere. Or I could temple here. And I wouldn't necessarily be guaranteed to pass right on, would I? Babak has the advantage of getting the big building tile over me. Okay, so I'll go for a longer round. Hey, Gray, no, my camera's been freezing all afternoon now, so apologies for that. I think I am going to fight up the Earth track here. We could take Earth 1. But I really like this Earth 2 idea. I don't think I've played Swarmlings on an Econ favor. Sanctuary before Stronghold. I don't see how that works, personally. But, you know, maybe it's just me. Who knows? So the benefit of taking an Econ favor in round 1 that matches up with the income is that this just, like, auto-balances my own income, right? Seems pretty solid. Seen Earth 2 for digging? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, digging is probably where this is going. Babuk also taking Earth 2. I like that decision a lot. Babuk is having a very good game here already. I'm going to be making 5 power. I would like to pass behind engineers, but that's not happening. Passing for the spade that Babuk is holding has probably quite a bit of value. So I'm going to send my priest here. Maybe take the 7 coins action. Because I don't know if I'm going to be getting double dig either. Nomads are maybe taking the coins action first move. It's not super clear to me what they're up to. NG were the 30 faction. You know, things happened. Apparently, Scotty didn't realize which map we were on, so maybe value nomads differently as better on revised base, maybe, which they are, right? And yeah, Babuk meant to bid engineers before putting Darklings down to 20, but didn't realize that they were still at 30. So that was the silly early game happenings. Really fancy play here would have been Fire 1. I'll take slightly smaller steps here. I think I'm pretty solid on playing early Sanctuary Swarmlings, but we need to mix it up at least a little. Ship scoring for Fire 1? That's a good point. There aren't a ton of places. I think Swarmlings naturally have an advantage, in my opinion, on coins. And this being a slightly higher coin game than average, I think means that Fire 1 is less good. Am I muted? I think I'm not muted. Okay, great. Thank you. I don't see any way Babuk lets me have this tile. It's just incredibly strong for me next round. Alright, thanks Marushka. Appreciate you checking in. See you later. Alright, I'm overproducing power as is. I think I'm probably not getting... If I do this... Then my power is 441. I make 5. So I'm 0-7-2 at the start of next round. Babik's going to build a sanctuary at some point. I have a single dig stalling mechanism. I think I just take the coins here. I am a worker short of getting the sanctuary up, but I do want to build dwellings next round, so maybe I don't end up building the sanctuary next round. Though I would get... Maybe I shouldn't have taken the coins there. Nomads do take the double dig anyway, so... Oh my gosh, the expend. I can't go naming, like, everything, right? That's an Agricola exclusive channel credit reward, oh my gosh. Early Hordling start, truth. I think I want to send my priest to fire. Does anyone want the workers action? I feel like the workers action is pretty safe. Engineers need coins and spades more here. Babuk wants coins and priests. Still off to a really great start, he is. Hey, what's up, Lex? Welcome. Nomads just build a dwelling. Instead of going for a stronghold, I guess they're building a stronghold next round. Fair enough. That probably works out fine. Engineers get a really helpful leech here. They'll get to take the 7 coins action without burning. Nomads digging E3 is wild. Yeah, maybe, but I think that's more from them taking G2 last round instead of E6. They didn't have any place to send a second spade besides E6. They are on temp ship. Would you look at that? If I get enough leech, I can do Sanctuary and Dwelling? Yes. I need 7 full power for that, right? I mean, Babuk's just being a pal here. Easy. Hey, McSteps. That's my job. Distracting everyone from their work obligations. Yep. Engineers and Nomads have a priest. We benefit a lot from the fire bonus here. I still don't think workers is going to be a contested action. Hoarding early coins, you could call fancy. Maybe. I'm stretching it here. But in general, it's like early balancing my economy. Did I organize my opponents? No. I just opened a couple tables on the homepage, and when they got to 3, I pinged a couple people. And it filled, so maybe I'll be more active on the pinging later if I try this next time. This wasn't necessarily the easiest time to find a game of random people. Also, with a known opponent of Babuk's quality, it means I'm less likely to win on a fancy line, though it's a good thing to have good opponents. It teaches you really a lot better what's viable and what's not. Could for this exact board state has ever occurred? Well, on the other hand, Jones, I think you could probably say that about most Terra Mystica games at some point, as we see my camera do an excellent freeze again. Terra Mystica just has so many possible board states. The combinatorics must be insane. I feel like it must be the case that at least once a game we find ourselves in a unique position. I expect some of you are probably Agadmater watchers on YouTube, and I know in the last few months some of his videos I've seen, he tells everyone when it's the first time a chess position occurs. So it's cool for him to have a database and just see that. But I'm just going to assume that Terra Mystica, having more board states than chess, probably has a very early occurrence every game of something new. Is there still a copy of Earth 1 here? There is. I expect Babuk to take it on his Sanctuary. We are going to take the workers action, and we're going to burn 3 power for a worker later in this round to put down a dwelling. So we can use our Swarmling special action. Alright, Max is having a very long think here. To me, this is pretty clearly he should build a temple. I don't think that sending a priest is the top priority right now. He could also be considering shipping. Trying to advance shipping based on maybe trying to calculate leech a bit too much. You just had a really fun Agricola game with Hill Farmer, Rice Farmer, Clay Sports, and Builder's Travel. That does sound fun. Anytime you get to start small and end up big, that's always a fun game. Probably very worried about D4. Oh, true. Yeah, I think many of us probably know that single digging D4 is not a great idea here. It's just way too expensive worker-wise, but as a newer player to Terra Mystica, it is probably very hard to decide, like, how important is this hex. Is there anything I can do about Frozen Camera? Not that I know of, or I'd be doing it. Okay, well, apparently complaining about it. Apparently complaining about it might work. But I can turn my webcam on and off from my streaming software sources, and it doesn't help. So any suggestions on an old laptop webcam from a Lenovo ThinkPad from 6 years ago, I'm happy to hear those suggestions. Okay, so I still think the worker's action is safe. So I could spade and build my dwelling right now. I could spade and not build my dwelling right now. Darklings don't have a ship to rush over to D1 and try to steal it. And I think I do get better leech by waiting. Nomads and Darklings could both upgrade. And I want to keep more than 7 power tokens around. In terms of exactly how long I want to go this round, it looks like Babuk has 2 moves left. And I'm right after him. I want to get his pass tile, so I should take 2 moves. Unfortunately, I have 3 moves. At minimum. I need to do that, I need to make my Sanctuary, and I need to... Oh, I have 4 moves. Yeah, we're never getting that. I could Sanctuary Earth 1, yes. Am I gonna do that? Sorry. I really want a scoring favor here. In the form of not Earth 1. Was this a Water 2 Swarmlings game? That's an interesting thought. Water 2 Swarmlings, I think, are best in games where they really depend on the pass tiles to do a lot of work, which is many Swarmlings games. But I thought that Earth 2 maybe is the fancy econ play that had the most value here. It hits 2 cult bonuses. Is Network Swarmlings too creative or not creative enough? I went with too much of a stretch here. And unfortunately, this game might fall a little flat in terms of creativity. We are still going small footprint swarmlings, high cult presence, trying to score off water 1 and maybe air 1 later. Water 2, you want water rewards? Exactly. Gray has this nailed. Babak almost certainly taking Earth 1 here, though he could go Fire 1. He does go Earth 1. I'm still expecting Babak to have a monster game. I mean, he's gonna have Sanctuary 4 dwellings at the end of this round. That's just insane. And he's gonna... Is he gonna pass for the 7 coins? It looks like he definitely could. I do want some spades next round. Not exactly sure how I'm getting them. I might advance dig in round 3. Is that possibly correct? Since Nomads didn't take B2, that does help Babak's game a lot, indeed. I'm gonna have 11 coins. I'm gonna be making 3. No, 2. Be making 7 power. That brings all of my bowl 1 into bowl 2 after I convert 3 to a worker. Nomads do take the dwelling tile, so it does look like I'm gonna get the big building tile. That's very welcome news. Dig this early costs a lot of workers. Yeah. I mean, I am doing quite well on those. 2 from Fire Cult here, and I'm hitting... Or, I'm playing Earth 2, so this could get very big. Worker economy-wise. Why didn't Babak build the last dwelling? 7 coins action is my guess. Engineers don't have enough power to, and Babak saw that they weren't going to get enough power to take the 7 coins action, so Babak with a monster worker economy has 2 priest income already. This is a very strong move for him to guarantee that. We take the tile with 2 workers and 8 points on it. They're behind Nomads anyhow. Oh, true. Time for a 2-action round. Get onto the trading post tile, I assume. We cannot yet double dig. We are in some need of a double dig action here. Double dig would bring us a long way. We do have enough stuff to advance dig twice, it looks like, which and build a dwelling here. Not more than that. We could still send a priest to air. That 3 spot's still open. Scotty does manage to find the 7 coins action. That's gonna slow down Babak a tiny bit in a much needed way. Hey, Heroic Logic. Yep, I'm on Terra Mystica today. And it looks like I get to send Priest to air, and I'm gonna do that. We still look to be in good position for the double dig action, actually. Priest to water would have been better power-wise, but I think this is totally fine. Building dwelling on E1 sucks. Yeah, we can definitely do that next round on a hard dig. You're playing a 7 structure, Swarmlings. Now? That's fun. Yeah, the X-Men, if you weren't here earlier, my webcam's going to be in and out tonight. I don't know what it's thinking, but it's definitely not feeling consistent. Oops. Can I get 3 spots here? That would be pretty cool. One of the reasons, this is just a note, one of the reasons my rating is not in the elite tier here is because I have a natural tendency to make my rounds go way too long for tempo reasons. Engineers are going to be a power short of double dig here, which we very happy to do. Looks like we'll get it without too many problems. It would be, I'll just say straight up crazy for Babuk to take the double dig action. It denies me a lot, but throwing away 6 coins for that cannot be worth it for him. Yeah, I don't know if the unfreeze command worked last time, Jones. I think it was Ahe coming in and complaining about it. I think that was really what did it last time. So if you want this webcam to unfreeze, that's probably a better bet. AJE. Oh, okay, cool. Thanks. I was obviously guessing. Thanks for setting me straight there. Never tell you the odds? I don't think I said your odds were like 92 to 1. Oh, whoops. I'm still going to accept this leech. It helps me keep more stuff in my power bowls. It's nice to not have to worry about network and neighbors from trading houses. Absolutely. Absolutely. Babuk's going to pass here onto the trading post tile. Very nice. Towns, I'm sure many of you are familiar with this idea, but probably some of you aren't. The town round is secretly a trading post round. Because often you will need to build trading posts to make sure your towns happen. So the idea of G6 is that it's going to be usually pretty easy to get to one of the blue hexes that's 2 away. When black or brown is in the game, it's sometimes harder to get to I-10. But when it's like cultists on F5, it's usually not too hard to loop around this way. Cultists rarely intercept I-10 against Swarmlings. It's just really annoying for them to do. They have better things to do. So G6 Swarmlings, at the very worst with a brown faction in the game, take these 4. And yeah, it's so rare to have both directions built off. And when that happens, you just build your stronghold here anyways, use it as a leech outpost, and try to maximize stuff out there. Where will my landscape go? That's a great question. I'm currently expecting it to be D8 or I11. Maybe H8. Whoa! Okay. Engineers taking the fancy play. I think they probably didn't get enough leech early to pull this off. But Stronghold round 3, pretty risky. Obviously it's a scoring mechanism, but 3 points per bridge is not quite as much as you'd like it to be. It just doesn't turn out to be as helpful as you'd like it to be in the long run. Which is too bad, because it's a fun strategy. We would have gone for it if we ended up with, if engineers this game. They're going for small and tall. Very possible. Very possible for sure. We have an upgrade to make. We're not going to feed engineers power if we don't have to. Our preferred pass tile's not here, but the spade is actually quite nice. It would give us... What would it give us? Maybe it doesn't give us much. It's only a scoring mechanism if they have a bridge. Exactly, and their power situation's not great. If they pass now, they will max out their power, so passing for the spade looks pretty good for engineers. Babuk is going to be grabbing the 7 coins, having missed out on it this round. What are we going to do next round? We're going to have plenty of power. We're going to have 9 coins, 11 coins, 9 workers, plus our pass tile. We're going to be scoring 2 towns next round, which means that we're going to be getting 6 extra workers across the round. We're going to be taking the 2 key town, and we're going to be taking the one cult step town, I would assume. Nomads can beat us to a town, it looks like, but which one would they even take? My next round is pretty obvious. It does look like I'm going to have access to the double dig. Engineers now 2 power short. Did they convert one before passing? Yeah, now they can't take double dig next round. So passing for 6 coins looks pretty good. The last thing is whether I want to build a temple for Air 1 here, and I don't think I do. I already have 4 priests on the cult, so I don't want to, like, overproduce priests when my trading posts are so good. So, I could take the double dig action, right? But what about just advancing dig? Because nomads aren't going to get to E1. Nobody's getting to E10 besides me. And using all my power as just random resources seems better. Guarantees 2 key town? That is true. And in terms of raw power to workers, it is quite even. It denies the double dig to the table. Gray is certainly right. The value of guaranteeing double key town is just very good here. If we go that slow, that's 3 moves away. Darklings won't be able to take it, but engineers and nomads definitely could, and they're both competitive on cults, or nomads are. Yeah, no reason to let nomads have any funny ideas. We're going to continue to build dwellings. And we'll push out the landscape at a later date. If I double dig H... I assume you meant some other hex. H8. Yes, H8, I11 is where my landscape will be. I'm pretty sure Babak is taking I10 this round. Babak has enough resources to probably get 2 towns. Right? What does he need? He needs this dwelling. But he needs more than that. Okay, so I have one other decision I should make right now, and that's, do I want to send a priest to Earth or not? I don't have to make that decision right now. Cool. Works for me. Works for me. I think I do want to build Air 1 this round, a temple for Air 1. Who am I behind this round? I am sitting behind Engineers. Engineers do not have a pass tile I want. Engineers also might be ending this round pretty soon. They have a dig, which I guess is going on D7. They want to put a bridge on there to score points, get a town. They might actually... They don't have enough stuff to build on D6. That'd be a really fun one for them. It looks like Babak might be going for fire too. I'm not quite sure he has enough resources to do the 2 towns any other way. Which makes the upgrade F5 a little surprising to me. Over under minus 25, you mean a win, I presume? I mean, it looks pretty likely. We could get fancy by trying to block off his connection, but that seems incredibly tough to do. We'd have to pretty much take all of these right here. It's not impossible, but it's a big task. We are equipped to do it. We have approximately 50,000 workers this game. Alright, I'm going to be making 4 power when I get this town. There's no reason it shouldn't be the cult town. He does need a coin town, but I guess what I'm saying is that this sequencing is unexpected. I guess he's building 2 trading posts here. Yeah, I was looking at his coin stash, and I was like, that doesn't quite add up. Yeah, because he can build a dwelling with 1 trading post here, 3 trading posts here. That'll be a very solid round for Babak. Next round, he can temple those back up and rebuild them as trading posts. Seems like a good plan. Though, rolling without water, too, does mean he doesn't quite have the amount of points that a Darkling might normally have. We'll see what Babak ends this round with. If he ends this round in the 70s, I'll be pretty concerned at my chances for winning. But there's a chance it won't be that good. If you change your options in mid-game, this is, at least for me, what I experience. 2 for 1 I do think I want still. Not exactly sure what I'm doing with this, but I think I'm going to keep accepting 2-for-1s for now. And in the next 2 rounds, think hard about declining. Is it that trivial, Gray? I didn't do the math. Obviously. If you're seeing it so much more clearly than I am at this point. Engineers take a ship town after building a bridge. Economic things seem pretty reasonable. Alright, I said I wanted to take Air 1 this round. I think that's still probably true. Score 3-3-4 off of it. It's probably a good thing to do. In terms of pass tiles, we could take the dwelling one and deny it to our opponents and build some dwellings next round. It does look like we'll have enough stuff to do that. So we could think about a very early pass here. Engineers, I think, want to build another dwelling. Nomads I wouldn't expect to pass yet. Babuk is definitely not passing, so we do have time to do this. One could definitely argue that I should have advanced dig there to not waste a priest. Why not take a long round and get a trading post tile? That's also a good point. We have so many workers, we could just pre-dig some stuff, like D8 and D7, one at a time. We are getting 2 cult digs also. We probably want to spend those on D8, because anything we cult dig too close to Darklings might just get stomped on. I was thinking of getting the dwelling tile because it just synchronizes with the round. We probably want it. We probably want to use the round somewhat anyway. Even though we're not contesting network, we still want to get our landscape town out this way. On this side of the board. Alright, and then in terms of cults, I don't think Babuk would take Earth 3. Can't rule it out. Alright, engineers do pass. Instead of building a dwelling. So now I am going to be going for the long round. Yeah, and if we took a tempo move to take the double key town, we cannot... we could not have gone any slower. We could have gone slower by taking water 1, or water 2, I should say, instead of air 1. The biggest benefit to water 2 I see would be to lock up Earth. Nomads grab a priest power action. What are they up to the remainder of this round? They're holding the big building tile. They don't have enough stuff to build a sanctuary there. They might try to build it there. Babuk builds a dwelling on B3. Very expected. Very much expected. We will take another dig advance here. We now have all of our priests back, which we would like to convert. At the end of next round if we haven't used them. Alright, so the typical Swarmlings game plan has continued to roll along here just fine. I think this is too big to accept here. I just don't have enough benefits to doing this if I'm not playing for network. Alright, and an important question now is... how many moves do I want to spend here? And what do I want to spend them doing? Digging D7 to annoy engineers. I mean, that's probably what I'm doing. It lets me put the digs on D8 still. If I try for H8, I can't spend 3 moves doing it because Babuk has stalling moves. If I take 2 workers, then I will have 6 stalling moves. Babuk has 1 to build a town, and then could take quite a few resources to keep stalling. You're impressed that I got so high on all the cults? Yeah, this is a benefit of Swarmlings. Often... well, not often, but sometimes there are these games where you just end up hitting the cults harder than anyone else does. The workers' action feels a little sad here, not gonna lie. So we'll take it if we need it, but otherwise we're gonna take it slow. Alright, we're gonna turn that green, then we're gonna turn it blue. Then we're possibly turning H8 green. Though maybe that encourages Babuk to get in the way too much. Could we be annoying with the temp ship tile? I'm not so sure. I guess there's also a point that we also only need to make sure we stall out nomads or darklings. Alright, so I think my last claim to continuing a fancy play here is to get up in Darkling's business in Connection World. We're both at no ship. We'll see if Babuk takes a ship down here. I think that's quite reasonable for him to take. If I stall out both, I would be right after the pass tile in the next round. That's absolutely correct, Lex. Though... I think my main concern is just Darklings this round, or this game. And in that respect, denying Darklings a pass tile this round, I think, is basically just as good. We could also place down the landscape here. That maybe is the right play. It locks down the hex. It lets us dig C5 as well. Nomads do pass here. Alright, Gray was correct. Babuk is gonna pass for 68 if he passes now, which is basically 70, and has 2 priests in supply, so effectively +4 once he uses those as digs. So we'll see if Babuk passes here. Does, okay. Works for me. Alright, we have 1 extra coin to down convert here before passing on to the points tile. We got 2 spades that we're going to put onto D8 here. Oops. See where engineers and nomads, not nomads, engineers and darklings decide to put their spades. I would guess it's A7 for Babuk, and engineers probably do D6. D8 over C5. Yeah, I think I don't want to start taking away engineers' stuff. That might just be too nice from me. But engineers do have the first move. They have enough coins. I feel like their first move is a double dig, no matter what. They can reach double dig, or 2 ship spaces. I want Engie to contest connection. Yeah, I do. Yeah, and I don't really want to waste these. Alright, we'll see who takes the coins action. It won't be engineers. I'm thinking it won't be nomads, even though they'd be plenty justified in doing it. C5 might be easier to block Darkling's connection, true. Though it looks like Babuk having dug C3 on the cult dig might just be... Well, I mean, once he gets D5 or C4, it's over. So, I don't think I can win that race. Yeah, exactly what Gray says. It's probably just not going to happen. Nomads do the nomads action. Engineers took 2 workers over the double dig. Well, I certainly wasn't expecting that, though if they're going for completing their bridges this round, I guess that makes enough sense. Can't take both 2 bridge actions in the same round, but this is just amazing for Babuk, getting the 7 coins action there. I think we just try to race down here. We could take C5. But I'm not exactly concerned about engineers here. Am I concerned about Darklings taking either of these, though? How many dwellings can I actually build this round? And I do want to pass right after Babuk. Babuk wants to pass after engineers. Not sure how easily that can happen here. Alright, this costs 4 workers, this costs 3, so I don't really want to do both this round. I'm actually just going to start doing this. My priests are workers, though, so I do have enough. Yeah, I should build H8, I11, and I should have done that first, because I am just going to be down converting these priests. This has been fun running Earth 2. Didn't expect it to feel so normal. We're probably getting Earth 3'd, but not a lot we can do about it. Yeah, I mean, I could send both of these priests, but of course Babu could just decide to do Earth 3 at any time. Alright, engineers give us the free leech. I really liked having my power bowls in this state in case I got a bigger offer. It would automatically revert to the 1 for 0, but it's fine. Maybe the cult steps on water 1 and air 1. Oh, wow. Look at these cult bottoms. There is no fighting there. And there definitely could be fighting there. We still have this town available. I think this town has a huge amount of value for whichever of these 3 gets it. Alright, I can't really go slow around Darklings. My next move is probably Swarmling's action on D8. There is a copy of Water 1 and 2 of Air 1 remaining. The favor races have not really been a thing. You think not going slow is a mistake? I mean, it could be. I am personally skeptical that I had chances to outstall Babuk anyway. Even if I had 2 more actions here, I'm not really seeing it with a smaller amount of resources on my end. Let's see. How close am I to that second town here? I need 4 extra building things. Okay. A while. You don't think Darklings would go for it if I just turned it green? They do still have to finish their connection, but it's getting pretty trivial. I wouldn't feel too threatened about the connection stuff if I was in Babuk's position. I don't know if he's going for a 3rd town yet. It's very possible that if engineers take C4, then Babuk's just gonna make a bridge town C3, B4, B5, A8. 2 workers is the best stall I can get? Yeah. Alright, I think I don't want this power. Nomads take fire too. That does look like it's going to be useful for them to finish 3 towns. So that's probably a good play. Yeah, because Babuk being on D5 pretty much locks up connection. He probably takes C4, B5, and a bridge as his 3rd town here. And if not, A7, A8 is there. Nomad's not having any shipping right now to contest D8. To not contest E8 is too bad. I definitely said that I didn't want to do that. I definitely said I wanted to Swarmlings D8. Whoops. That's too bad. Could have done that better. Taking a bridge, yeah, so that's also going to depend on nomads, right? I think that's a fun line, Lex, and I'm not opposed to it at all. Nomads do take it here, so we could try to pass ahead of Darklings next round and take the bridge action. Darklings take a priest action. If we manage to pass after this turn, do we have any options here? No. We're not going to need that many coins next round. They can probably town without a bridge. They do have a lot of stuff, but I'm not sure I see that. It's certainly a lot easier if they don't have a bridge, right? Or if they do have a bridge. I think we have all the stuff we want for next round, because next round all we really want to do is build our trading post, build a temple, and rebuild the trading post, which costs us 6 and 10. You think we're so clearly playing for second here? There are some things we could do at the end of this round to make, to force some slightly harder decisions. As Babuk does put 2 digs onto b4 here. Let's see. So what does Babuk have remaining? He has 2 dwellings in the landscape, all 3 temples, and a stronghold. Four, 8, 6, 11, 10, 17. Yeah, he has so much stuff. Yeah, stronghold on c4 can make that town. We don't need to maximize this pass tile. I don't think there's much value in doing that. The chances that Nomads pass are not super high. I could advance ship here. I am not going to have many ways to get points at the end of this game. So to use down resources I was just going to convert anyway seems like a fine proposition. By being just careful enough on not burning, I'm able to make full use of this round 5 4 power event. Very happy about that. In terms of the little victories, that's definitely a little victory. Engineers get their ship up to 3 instead of building a bridge. Also, if engineers pass ahead of Darklings, they might just be the ones taking a bridge, so I don't think I need to be the one caring about that. Rainier would be jealous. That's what I'm trying to do here. Fanciest play of the night. Hey, we made it to Fancy Night. Yeah, this wasn't quite what I had imagined. We had more fun opportunities that Swarmlings are not equipped to do very well in terms of having a chance at winning. Babuk is pointing away out over here, continuing to have a Monster Darklings game. Getting a couple of 7 coins action in the mid-game, very good for him. Alright, I am super out of stuff to do. So we pass for 9. And this is a worker, 1 power and 3 coins, or 7 coins. I think that's pretty clear what we should do. Especially because we're going to get 3 workers when we finish our town. Right now, our power level of this thing is 5, 7, 10, 12. So all we really need to do is trading post, temple, trading post. Power requirement for Swarming's landscape. You just dig to build it, as with all landscapes, and then you just multiply by 7. So we're going to turn this town into a city. So that's why I was counting power values. We're at 12 right now. Our free trading post puts it to 13. We're going to build a temple and rebuild a trading post. It is a trading post round, so we're going to get a tiny bit of value there. Camera working again, yep. Never know when it's going to go back. We do have plenty of resources to make all those, not all those buildings happen, but those buildings happen. We could just take Earth 3 ourselves with the first action of this round. If Babuk doesn't seal up the Earth Cult, maybe that is our play. We would like to see someone take the 7 coins action that isn't Babuk, but as Gray says, we might just be playing for second here. Engineers find the TP pass tile, Nomads find the dwelling pass tile, so Babuk is going to be out of a pass tile. Babuk does need to afford 2 more shipping. He just has so many things, though. I keep trying to justify why it's not going to be a monster game for him, but it just is. This placement of things is a bit awkward, though. How much should we hope that Engineers takes the bridge action? Babuk does take Air 1. I think that's pretty reasonable. It'll be 7 points, at least. And that's not guaranteed of Water 1, definitely not. Water 1 would only be 3 or 6. So I am a little curious if Babuk has... I mean, he has so many resources, but is there an efficient way to do it now that he has no dwellings? If he builds a trading post here, then he does need a bridge. Alright, so do we take Temple Earth 3? Do we take a bridge? We take Temple Earth 3. We could temple out here. Give Nomads a coin. Alright, so we're going to lock up 28 cult points. If someone threatens water or air, we're just going to shoot a priest into there. With our last town, we can take 9 or 11 points, it looks like, which is going to be really great. In terms of trading post locations, it's probably going to be the bigger leech offers, E10 and I11. Unless Darklings and or Engineers are maxed on power, we can offer them a fake leech. Though that's pretty unlikely. I would expect both of them to take power actions here. Hoping for engineers to take the bridge and nomads to take the coins. I think that's the worst for Babuk. I think that's not super likely to happen. Engineers have quite a few priorities here. But they do take the bridge. Cool. Makes Babuk's life a tiny bit harder. Not the hardest thing in the world, but a little harder. I am a bit surprised at D5. I think Babuk had a way to dig C4 and spend all of his priests instead of D5, and I think being on C4 instead of D5 is a lot better. Same 3 spots away from F5 on the river for shipping, but C4 does have an obvious upgrade spot for a stronghold. Stronghold with landscapes makes Darklings... Sorry. Darklings with landscapes makes Stronghold more viable, because Stronghold does come with that basically free structure that counts as a dwelling. Along with making use of what's typically extra workers at the end, which seems to be the case for Babuk here. Nomads take the 11-pointer, very reasonable. Rushing for that instead of 7 coins, also reasonable. But we'll see if what they decide here on the cancel. Guess I should have still taken the coins. Don't think Darklings would have gone for Earth. The thing, though, is that coins give me 1 extra point, and greeting out 1 extra point compared to guaranteeing this 8-point swing versus Darklings, I think has to be the right play. Or to ignore the 1 point. Because I have enough coins to do what I want. I need 10 coins to build... No, I already have built my temple, so I just need 4 coins, because I have 1 trading post for free. Darklings do get more VP, but, you know, we're hoping that Nomads take the coins. They don't. But I think that's just my judgment call of, is this likely and is it worth the effort compared to the likelihood? And I don't think I can expect myself to be policing the 7 coins action. Babuk actually takes a temple here for water 1 over the 7 coins action, so we'll take it now. Not gonna turn that down. See, why would we take it first move? Like, why would we ever think about taking it first move? Come on, Lax. Jeez. Do you not know how to play fancy Swarmlings? My goodness. Hashtag fancy things. Yes, I'm glad my joke came through as a joke. Alright. So, what do we have going on here? Nomad sends a priest to water. Not really sure how these water and air cults are going to resolve, but hopefully they'll resolve just fine. I don't really have anything to do with these priests besides advance ship a couple times, and that does have some value. It's not 0 value for me to be advancing ship. It is just better than hoarding the resources. Babuk is actually at max power right now, so if we can pull off an upgrade of H8, that's probably the right move. Alright, so we have 6 times 2 coming in from the trading posts. We have, so that's 12. We have 16 coming in from or 16 after the Air 1 scores. We're looking at 28 on the cults for plus 44 to our current score. That's not that great. We hit 2 ship advances and we get to 144. Oh, and we have a town. So we'll crack 150. Doing, I mean, very standard Swarmling stuff, honestly. It's just that we have an extra Earth 1 favor here compared to how I would normally play Swarmlings. And honestly, in a Landscapes game, Earth 2 might be correct. I meant to say Earth 2, I said Earth 1, I think. So yeah, much more boring than I wanted. I think Swarmlings games are still really fun to watch. You just kind of like hang out and get a bunch of points. It's great. Babak is not max power. Very smooth by him. Nothing too disastrous can happen here or here. I could advance ship. I could just do my upgrades. What are the chances I can get network points? I'm gonna go with not very high. I actually think I have chances at winning this game. I have not necessarily been impressed with Babuk's last round here, not getting a town. I don't know, Gray, if you're watching or calculating right now. Don't feel pressured to if you weren't. But does Darklings at C3, this is more like a yes or no question, does Darklings upgrading C3 and taking D5 last round instead of C4, could that be enough of a mistake for them to lose out on this third town? Because at least what I had calculated was a stronghold at C4 was not hard to do. Don't know why he went for this middle island instead of going to A7 and so on. I don't either. It's a little odd. And now just digging E8. I guess he just wants to connect on 2-ship and isn't obsessed about this third town. And on some level, that's just a fine play. You never want to, like, overstretch for something. 2-shipping was going to be expensive without a major payoff. The 11-point town's still there. We're ready to take it. We could offer engineers 2 for 1, and we could offer Darklings 3 for 2. Which is going to end up being 2 for 1. Looks a lot like we offer engineers 2 for 1. I don't see any way engineers hit 150. But we already have a town there. It's a glitch! It's a glitch! It's so glitchy my camera froze. I guess might need to start up Lumen's webcam fund. Just hashtag fancy. That's where we are tonight. I hope this has been an enjoyable game for y'all. I'm happy to feel like I can freely cast a Terra Mystica again. I had not been feeling that for a while. Not really sure why, but... Guess with an expensive trading post instead of temple, stronghold, landscape, town would still be viable for Darklings. Okay. I haven't done the math on that, but it seems reasonable to think about that. Oh, the expend. You can have your channel credits back for that one. Alright, so Babak takes a priest. We cannot take a worker's action right now, nor do I think we want to at all. We don't get anything for spending these workers anymore. The only thing we could do is a temple because we don't score dwellings. Which means... And we fully advance dig. So I really think the last things on our agenda are to advance ship twice. And throw a priest to one of these cults for 3 power, which is more than the single resource is worth. I don't actually think going on C4 is productive. We could turn C4 gray. That might have some value. This is 12 resources. If we advance ship one more time, which I think we want to do. 4, 4, 1, 3. That adds up to 12. That's perfectly 4 points of resources. Yeah, it is surprising that Babak isn't going for 3 towns here. And that just might be the difference in this game. Power Town being equivalent to a ship town for Darklings, if you don't consider the timing of everything. The 4 power turning into 4 coins, or I should say the 8 income of power turning into 4 coins, and the priest not being sent into the ground for 2 points. Yeah, I mean, overall, Babak is missing something, but I'm not sure I would have been able to find it either. We have the benefit of having many minds here to think about it. So yeah, it looks like I don't have... Or I have 1 resource to spare, actually, right? If I send a priest and I advance ship, I'm minus 6 resources, but I get +2 with my current power situation. Yeah. Alright, so overall a solid Swarmlings game here. Definitely cannot complain about hitting 150 ever. Again, fanciness is questionable. We don't really need to hit anything. Nomads are winning network. Yep, they look like they have enough resources to build out the rest of their stuff. Or at least 1 more structure. That's not the thing I want. We'll send the last priest to water if there's no more activity on the cults. It seems like water's slightly more contested. Camera's back. That's always nice. We'll see how long it takes to disappear again. At one point, he had 6 and 9 with a priest. Could have strongholded somewhere else and trade workers for priest. Build the landscape. That's what I was thinking, Relentless. Maybe not necessarily last round. Gray, you think that stronghold possibly wasn't ever right. Okay. Definitely trust your opinion on that. What's the deal with the landscapes? Are you perhaps not familiar with the landscape expansion being on, or do you want to know specific effects? Not exactly sure what you're asking, but happy to explain on once I hear a bit more detail. Oh, you're not familiar with the expansion? Okay. Yeah, if you've been watching Rainier mostly, then he hasn't been playing with the landscapes, but basically, with landscapes, every faction has a unique structure. So for me, it's this one. So for Swarmlings, if you place this, then you get to have extra towns in the same connected group when you have the breeding ground included. These look like they're the same to me. Whereas they're likely to be more fighting, probably water cult. So all the landscapes have a prerequisite, and you need to use a dig to place them. So it's like you use a dig, and then you have to immediately place the landscape. Most landscapes have a prerequisite. I have to have the sanctuary up to use the Swarmlings one. Engineers don't need a prerequisite for their landscape. They just need to dig a hex. Theirs is the bridge tower, so they get to place bridges across land from their bridge tower. Nomads have this thing that lets them take a coin instead of any leech amount when connected to that. And Darkling's landscape just purely counts as a dwelling for all purposes, except for upgrades, and you need to have your stronghold to place it. In landscapes games, if you're competing for network, then you need to be considering this as an extra building that you should try to build and help you on your way to winning network points. All right, do I have extra resources here? I have 1 extra resource, so I could dig one thing. Completely trivial what I dig. In that case, I'm gonna burn 1. Nope, I'm not gonna burn any. There's no chance this all becomes power, but it is an extra point if it is. 8. I want 7 things. I do burn 1. The burn math is really silly and almost never useful, so don't mind me while I do that last calculation. You're sad they changed the rules on the mermaid landscape? Yeah, it feels like a change for sure. In actuality and truth, it's that it was implemented incorrectly to start with. So they teased us for a couple months on, look at this amazing mermaids landscape, and it turns out that they had just interpreted the rule wrong. And for anyone that thinks landscapes are annoying because the rules aren't well explained, you have a point. There are tiny rules, things like that, which can be subject to change. unfortunately. Alright, so it looks like we are getting a win with Swarmlings here. Can't be too disappointed at not the most fancy play, but Earth 2 I think paid off really well here. I think a lot of games where I'm going to try fancy play, or situations where I might try fancy play, do revolve on taking an unexpected favor tile very early in a situation where I can hit a lot of cult bonuses. I think that many players who are even good players at Terra Mystica undervalue cult income. And finding fancy ways to hit cult income, I think, does provide a lot of hidden value that I want these kinds of games to expose. So with Earth 2, we got a couple extra coins in round 1, which I think were helpful by round 3 or something like that. We got an extra spade at the end of round 4, and we were able to beat Darklings to the top of Earth. So we did get enough benefits from Earth 2, along with the 5 workers and 5 power that we used for low-stress advanced digs in the mid-game. So it's nice to see an econ favor pay off here. Alright, once this game is over, I don't think I'll be sticking around for very long. I see a few board game streamers online, but I'm not familiar with any of them. If any of you have suggestions for who to raid, happy to listen to them, but I'm not expecting it. Looks like my camera's back, so I could have to stop doing whatever weird things I was doing while my camera was frozen. Your calculation turned out to be pretty bad? Oh. Well, I really think it was a difference in how he ended up using his resources, right? Because even though he had to get to 3 ship, I think Babbitt could have won this one with a 3rd town up north. Nomads never got enough points. Do they not have water 1? No. When you're building this many structures, not having water 1 hurts a lot. Engineers had fun ideas with bridge focus, but they didn't have quite enough income to hit the bridges over and over again. And if they hit bridges more, they have a chance here. But I think it's that, in the end, the Swarmlings line was just so obvious through most of the game. Like, the only things that could have swung it were not rushing Two Keys Town. But, I mean, everything else kind of did play itself. I appreciate those of you who suggested Earth 2. Don't remember who that was anymore, but that ended up being quite nice, looking back. Ghostly was close. Ghostly suggested a temple for Earth 3. Kappa. AJE said Earth 2 something. Yeah, I don't actually know who suggested it, really. I don't see it anymore. That's weird. Alright, so here we are in the final scoring. All right, and yeah, Babak ends up third here. And I get a win. You like Fire 1 as well? Yeah, yeah, I don't think Fire 1 would have worked here. I think Earth 2 was really great economically. It made up for a lot of the things we were missing, like how our round 2 Sanctuary wasn't that easy. 2 temples in round 5, I think that makes sense for Babak. I think Air 1 was fine, but yeah, winning Earth could have done a lot for Babak. I agree about that. And yep, I don't think there's too much for me to say here. I think I do have something else to run off to. So I will thank you all again for being here. It was a really fun stream. I expect to be doing these very rarely, but once in a while. And hopefully we can end up winning a faction in auction that has higher clown potential, because I think clowning is fun. And hopefully that joy has been shared with y'all. All right, have a great night, everyone. See you next time. I am streaming Agricola tomorrow, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. I think it's 6 p.m. Central European for a couple weeks while our daylight savings are off from each other. But yeah, thanks again. Have a good night. Bye.